Hello everyone, welcome back to Tinateach Python. Today we'll be learning about more conditions, okay? Because our previous lesson we learned about if and else. In this case, we learned there are more options, more varieties of making more specific conditions for our if and else, okay? So first thing first, we're going to take a look at shorthands and or not keywords, and then we're going to take a look at nested if and the past statement as content for an if and else statement. Okay, so let's see what we have. First off, with shorthand if. So this is the syntax that you're working with. If x is larger than y, print x is larger than y. Okay, it's very straightforward. It's basically the same if and else, with the whole indentation and new line and line breaks, but on one line. Okay, so you can take out the indentation. It's very, very much the same. Now, what about if and else? Okay, so with if and else, so I'm adding two extra variables, just for a little bit more variation. X equals to 5 and y equals to 10. Print x if x is larger than y, else print y. Or alternatively, if you want to add more in, print x if x is larger than y, else print equal if x is equal to y, else print y. And you're going to see how this works out later on, okay? So let's move on to another lesson. Let's move on to, another topic. And the and keyword is a logical operator and is used to combine conditional statements. So what this basically does is that, let's say you have two conditions that you want to be met, right? You want a result that is coming from satisfying two conditions at the same time. So that's what and is for. So I have A, B, and C. If A is less than B and C is larger than A, print both conditions are true. So both must be satisfied. If only one is satisfied, this will not be met. It'll print something else, okay? Or it won't print anything at all if you don't add like elif or else into this block of code. Next up, the or keyword. It is another logical operator, just like and it's used for combinations. However, with and, both conditions must be met. But for or, only one needed to be met, right? So only one is good enough. And I have the same A, B, and C. If A is less than B and C is less than A, print at least one of the conditions is true. Now, obviously, C is not less than A, right? C is 30, A is 10. So this part is not satisfied. So next up to another logical operator, just like and, we have or. So for and, both conditions must be true. However, with or, only one needs to be true, okay? Only one is good enough. So I have the same A, B, and C here. If A is less than B or C is less than A, print at least one condition is true, okay? Now, A is less than B, we know that for sure. A is 10, B is 20. But C is not less than A because C is 30 and A is 10. So C less than A, one of the condition is false. But since or only need one, which is satisfied by A less than B, we print out at least one of the conditions is true. So let's move on to the next part, the not logical operator. Now, not is a reversal of the condition that you give. If something is not that or not happening, it is fulfilled. So A is equal to 100, B is equal to 250. If not, A is larger than B. So A is less than B. And this is the equivalent of saying if A is less than B, okay? Print A is not greater than B. It's just a reversal. Okay. Now, let's move on to nested if. If statements can have if statements within them. So age equals to 21. If age is less than 10, right? Print, have some candy. If age is larger than 15, but less than 21. So in between 15 and 21, only tea and coffee. Else, larger than 21. Print, you can have alcohol. Okay, it's very straightforward, very simple, just like that. So our last topic that we're going to discuss is about the past statement. By default, if and else cannot have nothing. It needs to have some kind of content within it. If you just write if and you give nothing, if you just write if and give a condition and not have like a print after that or anything else, Python will return an error. So, but sometimes you don't have the content, so what can you do? You just need to put in a pass, and Python will pass along, okay? Just use the pass statement if there's nothing, if you don't want anything to be after the if, or else, for that matter. If, else, and elif, it works the same. Let's work with the shorthand if. I'm gonna have, let's say, order is 1 muffin. Wait, no, muffin. And then order quantity is 2 muffins. Let's make it 2 muffins, okay? If order is equal to muffin, print, I want muffin, okay? And let's move on to another shorthand. Print muffin if order equals to muffin. Else, print what do you want, right? And then let's make it a little bit longer. Print muffin if order is equals to muffin, so same thing. Else, print what do you want? If x, if order equals to coffee, if order is a muffin and order quantity is less than 5, some muffin and less than 5. Okay, let's move on with or. So I'm gonna copy and paste this. I'm just gonna modify it. Okay, if order is muffin or order is greater than 5, so this is false. Muffin and not more than 5. Next up, let's use not. Not order equals to coffee. Okay, print no coffee please. Okay, no coffee please. And then let's move on to some nested ifs. Age is 21. If age is less than 5, print no alcohol for kids. If age is equals to 18 and age less than, print come back in 3 years. Okay. If, no more if, else, print you can have alcohol. And then I'm going to change order back to muffin. Okay. And let's run this. So first off with muffin, if order equals to muffin, print I want muffin. Print muffin if order is muffin, else print what do you want? Okay, so it is muffin, right, over here. Now if I just change it to like blah, 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 whatever, run it again, it's gonna be what do you want? Okay, so now I'm just gonna change it back, muffin. Print it once again, and we have the same thing as we did up here. So let's go through it one more time. Next up, if order equals to muffin and is less than 5, muffin and less than 5, which is true. Muffin less than 5 because we only wanted 2. Otherwise, it would print muffin and nothing. It would print nothing, okay? Next up, if order equals to muffin or order is larger than 5, so only one needs to be true, which is order equals muffin. It prints out muffin and not more than 5. If order is not coffee, no coffee please, which is true because order is So that's it for today's lesson. I do hope that you learned something new, and don't forget to check into my next lesson, which is going to be talking about while loops. Now, we've talked so much about for loops already. It is something extremely common, but the same goes with while loops. They are also very, very useful. So don't forget to like and subscribe. Learn today, better tomorrow. Goodbye.